Hi everyone, it's me Darlene. I am back with another scrap buster video, but it's not so much a scrap buster as it is a shred buster. We are going to be using these lovely shreds that I tell you to keep, and we're going to be turning them into fabric. I know I've done this various ways in the past. This way is a little bit different. My favorite way so far. I'm going to work on a small piece. I've done a couple practice pieces about this size and they work out good. I do have a way, kind of, I'm still experimenting on how to join small pieces. So if you make some small pieces, subscribe and I'll show you how to join them after. It's very easy. This can be made with larger pieces, but you're doing a lot of turning under the machine, so you don't want to do something too big. But you certainly could probably make like a panel big enough for a tote bag, and if your scraps are the full width of the fabric, you should have no problem accomplishing that. But we're going to start with something small. Now, I actually recorded this entire video before this one, and I tried to show you an angle close up so you could see what I was doing, and I got so frustrated that I ended up trashing all that footage and I'm starting over. It was just, I don't know, I'm in a weird mood and it was a hot mess video. It was kind of funny, but I don't know. I just don't want to bother doing the editing on all of that. So here's the deal. I'm going to grab some shreds. They can be thick, thin, whatever. And I'm just going to, like, put those on my fabric, and I'm going to sew, and I'm sewing with a straight stitch because it doesn't show as much. I don't want all that zigzag going on, and we're going to be sewing in both directions, so don't worry, it's all going to work out. I think you're going to like this. And you don't have to go right butt up against the edge of your fabric if you don't want, but you can, because we're going to be trimming. So I'm just, you know, like going to the machine and just kind of like holding it kind of taut. And I'm going to take a few stitches just to secure it. And I'm not going right to the edge. You know, I'm in about a ½ an inch. Comme ça. Like that. And let me get my little tag off there. Now, before I go over that fabric, I'm still on that little bunch. I'm going to take some more. Now, this first pass takes the longest. And then it gets like really easy. Now don't worry if you have some shreds that are not the, you know, covering your entire little piece of fabric, because we're going to add as we go. So I'm just going to bunch up some more. And you just want to be careful that you don't put your finger under the needle, and that you don't get your foot caught. Now there's different feet. I could have a better one, but you know, I have the one with the 2 toes and they like to get caught underneath. So just be careful with that. Don't concern yourself with the fabric flipping over and showing the wrong side. That's super cool too. If that bothers you, then batik shreds are the best because there's not a wrong side on most of them. So you can shove just a few under there at a time, or you can shove more than a few. It's all up to you. I just like to mix. I mix batik with other things. Now, my shreds here are kind of caught. And I'm just going to keep doing this until I get down here. And if you have something kind of wide and you want it to show, oh, my lighting isn't even right. Oh, I'm sticking with this setting. You can just, you know, tuck something in, but I like to like double it up just so it's kind of, you know, the same bulk. And I'm using a kind of a stiff piece of muslin. I was experimenting with some other muslin, buying it, I mean, and it's too stiff for my liking. So I'm going to be using it for projects like this. You can use any scraps that you have, and if you want, you know, you can do this in a different way where you can let your foundation peek through. I can do that later in another video, but for now I'm just, you know, covering this whole piece of fabric. I really love this. Oh, my mother is on the phone now. She knows I'm recording. She doesn't like me to record her talking. Hang on. We're free to record. Okay, you don't have to go all the way to the very end of this. I'm trying to find little skinny stuff. I like that. Like, just shreds like this. You can even put thread under here. Okay, that's wide enough. Now, because I'm going to be turning this, look, I have like all this that's stuck to this. I'm just going to chop that off, like right there. So when I'm close to the edge, I'm going to make sure my needle is in. I'm going to turn, just take a few stitches. So I'm probably only going to be like 1/4 of an inch from the line I just sewed. And it gets much easier now because all your shreds are there ready for you. And you can add more if you need more. And I can see that it's going to get a little bit blank here. So I'm going to add some more shreds, just a few. Let's do this nice dark green. It's okay that this end is not going to get sewn. I will show you how to take care of that after. So I'm going to tuck that under there. Everything else, oh, I have a blank space there. Add a little bit more there. And now I'm just going to like put my hands like this, hold it flat so it doesn't get stuck under the foot, and sew. We get to the end, needle down, turn in this direction, few stitches, needle down, turn, and we're coming in this direction. I see a little spot there that could have a little piece of color. Let's shove something under there. And I'm just going to work like that until I'm done this whole piece of fabric. I'm stopping at this point, and I'm just going to take this over my trash can and trim this stuff off. I'm not concerned with, you know, fabric showing on the edges because we're going to trim this down. Now, at this point, if you have anything that's like, you know, something that you stitched over, you can just fold it back and trim it. You know, if it's in the center somewhere. Or you can leave it and you're just going to be sewing, you know, over everything again anyway. If you think that you might have some spaces where you know, were too far between the lines or whatever, you can, you know, go and do as much stitching as you want. And if you have blank spaces, you can still add some more scraps and take care of that. Now we're just going to go in the opposite direction. We went this way, now we're going this way. And same thing, and now it's really easy now because we have nothing loose except for at the very end. So I'm just going to go down, come this way a little bit, needle down, get rid of this guy, and turn. And like I said, I'm probably 1/4 to 1/2 an inch apart my stitching lines. If you have fabric that flipped and did weird things, that's all okay. It's all good. And if you want to purposely do like wavy lines on this step, you can. And I'm using white thread. I like to let the fabric be the important part. If you use a dark thread, you can use a contrasting thread, but it's really going to show because there's a lot of stitching. stuff is not going right today. I should not be recording. It's just one of those days. And it's making me nervous because I know my mother wants to be on the phone. I told her she couldn't be. All right, I'm going to just go and trim this, and then we will look at it. Look at how cute this is. Look, it looks like there's little mountains here, that pink fabric. I love this. I'll take some pictures up close. Now, this could be washed. Will it all shred? No, we have 100 lines stitched over it in grid form, and there's so much more we can do to embellish these blocks, but I just think they're adorable. Now, they're not for quilts, like I said, but this is so cool for tote bags. You can see how many stitch lines I did in the back. And you don't want them straight. Wonky is awesome, but I really love this. And, you know, if you see something that's like really, you know, like maybe it got folded or whatever, you can go and just stitch a few more lines down if you want to, but I'm absolutely good with this little piece. This is only 4 inches square, but I do, like I said, have a way to join these. That's super cool, and it almost looks seamless. So subscribe, and I will be doing more like this because this is going to be a new addiction for me, like crumb quilting is. I'm going to be making a lot of different little blocks like this, and you might see some on eBay at some point. Right now I'm still just experimenting and having fun, but I think this is like so cool. All right, thank you so much for watching. I'll be back with more soon. Bye.